to another Alternate Economy Wednesday. I appreciate you joining me. Oh, sorry about that. I'm getting a call. Ironically enough, it's a call from my son's school, the attendance office. Hopefully you guys can hear me tonight. I got everything on. All right, give me one moment here. Just get everything caught up. I apologize for the delayed. Getting here a little bit delayed. I had a little technical difficulty. Now my daughter's making fun of me over here. Had a little technical difficulty with the webcam, getting it set up. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for joining me. All right, just about have everything where I need it. All right, so on the agenda tonight, so as this whole series, Alternate Economy Wednesday, is about as we resist and stop participating in the economy the international banking cartel runs as we know it, with the central banks in every country pretty much controlling the world, keeping us at war with each other, all these different things. As we resist that, you know, there's all sorts of different aspects of that we're going to have to engage. And one of those is education. You know, if we don't want to get a vaccine eventually, I'm telling you, we all know it. If you don't want to get a vaccine or you don't want to get tested even, you're not going to be able to go to school. So that's something that we need to talk about. So that's what tonight's show is about, is exactly that. Let's see. So the first thing I want to show you, though, is just from, this is a clip from Toronto. Let me get it pulled up here on my screen. Let's see. It happened on, at least it was uploaded on January 16th. And this is just some people that are standing up to the restrictions in Toronto. They're not even about education or anything like that. But I just want to see, like, there's a person you're about to see gets kidnapped here right on your screen. So I want everybody to be able to see, you know, what these enforcers will do for the ruling class and the predator class. So that's what this first little clip here is about that I'm going to show you. Make sure I got everything set up. I believe I do. And I'll put a link to this video up in the description there for those that are following along, or those that are following along later if you want to catch it. Just give me 1 second to get all that up. All right. So yeah, this is in Toronto, Canada, on January 16th. Like I said, is when it was uploaded. I think it was right around that, maybe a day or so before that. He might have even been live, so that might have been the actual day. Actually, he was live. I don't know when this was shared to library. But anyways, just watch this as the enforcers come in. I'll throw the link up there in the chat.
That's okay. Here they go. They're moving in. They're moving in. They're moving in.
However, for the most part, guys, you still have a job. Police officers, at what point
they're moving in right now.
Do you speak out? When your freedoms are all gone? When people are getting hurt? Like what we saw happen to an innocent civilian who was criminally harassed? Officers, this is key information to criminal code violations that have taken place.
What are you guys doing? What's happening here?
Your orders are corrupt. Do not engage people. Do not engage.
People standing peacefully around are going to get
do not engage. Officers, I hold in my hand absolute evidence of criminal code violations by the people who are giving you their orders. These orders are illegal.
Don't worry, guys. I'm with the media. I'm not touching anyone. I promise. I'm touching nobody. All right.
Everybody come closer. Lock arms. Do not engage. You have the right to remain silent.
Yeah, I can't get in, so I got to go around.
Crimes committed.
Oh, dude, come on, man. That's assault. Don't do that. Really, please, don't do that. All right, so I just got hit. All right. Well, I want to go out. Am I free to go? Okay, I'm free to go. So, yeah, they're trying to box everyone in. So let's go over and get up close and see what's happening here.
No.
All right, so you're about to watch someone get kidnapped.
If you touch me, you are committing assault. You are inviting assault.
Hey! Shame on you! Choose your side! Choose your side!
Okay, watch out. What, man? I'm not going anywhere. I'm nowhere near you, officer. I'm nowhere near you.
All right, so I just wanted to show that guy did a good job keeping up there. I threw the link up in the chat there to go check out the rest of that video yourself. It's a pretty long live stream, but it just shows, you know, this is what's going to start happening if you speak out, or if you decide that you don't want to do the things that the new normal is going to require, like getting a vaccine, getting tested to go into certain places, you know, always going into a hospital and getting a trigger pulled at your forehead, things like that. So that's why I wanted to show that clip, because everybody needs to understand these are the kind of things we're up against. And, you know, in my opinion, these people, it seems to me, if you watch the rest of this stream, these people weren't quite prepared for what was going to happen. They kind of knew the cops, well, they were told the cops weren't going to be there, but once the cops were there, they should have known. This guy was actually trying to warn them, and they just weren't really prepared to defend themselves. So this woman got kidnapped, the woman that was speaking. You're going to be taken off to a cage. But anyways, that sucks. I mean, that's the way life is now. Unless we start just standing up when they come, we got to figure out how to defend ourselves. So that's part of what this show is about, and that's why I wanted to show that clip. But what we're going to focus on today as part of that in defending ourselves is educating ourselves with knowledge, and all sorts of knowledge. Being very open to learning all sorts of different things on all sides of the spectrum. I think that's really important to moving forward and being able to understand what liberty and freedom are, and being able to maintain that and defend that from tyranny, from government and force that it's going to use to come take it from us. Yeah, you're right, Jesse. That's just like what happened at the Oregon Capitol building. Right, Jesse, I agree. Just do what you need to do to survive. Live your life. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. People are going to, you know, the government's going to come and use its force eventually, and you need to figure out how to defend yourself when you decide as a business to just open or whatever. But you're right. That's what people need to do. And as neighbors, we need to help those that decide to take a stand and resist these, you know, I mean, it's tyranny. There's no other word for it. It's medical tyranny. All right, so moving on to the next phase here. So I just wanted to focus. Some of you may have been following what happened at my son's school. He had a little form he was supposed to fill out, and we never filled it out. We had some issues with his IEP, which is an individualized education program. He has special needs. He has cerebral palsy. And they decided all of a sudden not to let us in because we weren't filling out this silly form, which we had never filled out, and they'd let him in before. And I just personally kind of send my son there for socialization. It's a good way for him to be around other people and learn how to communicate with other people, and, you know, have friends and people outside of just his mom and me and his sister and our family. So that's what this next little bit I want to show you is kind of after they started refusing us. I put up a couple videos. I'll put those in the chat in a little while here, but I just want to get through this because I want to be able to take some calls and interact with you guys a little bit later. So this first thing here that I'm going to show you is just an interview, or excuse me, an email. So I did a public records request for the school principal where my son goes, and also the Jay Rowell, his name is. He's a superintendent, a deputy superintendent, superintendent of the school. So he's this email, he's also the person in charge of public records requests. So I sent him a public records request for all of their emails on October 30th, which is the first day they officially denied my son entry into the school. So this, I just want to read you a little bit because it shows you the mentality of these people. And while I'm reading it, I want to throw something up on the screen here. I think this is important for you guys to see too. So here's Mr. Jay Rowell here. This is his salary. And here is Mr. Jay Rowell too, just so we have a little, you know, reference there. So yeah, just, you know, 2019, Mr. Jay Rowell, the deputy assistant superintendent of the district, made $166,419. So Just keep that in mind as you read this email and the assumptions he makes. I guess when you get paid that much by the predator class to indoctrinate our children, they got to pay you pretty well to buy your loyalty. With I guess it's not a payment; it's bribe money to buy your loyalty. So, anyways, it says, "Thank you for your email. Records in response to these requests were provided on Friday, December 11th, 2020. Now, this is where the whole thing is interesting, but this is where it gets interesting. The district understood that Questionable Authority, News Now Northwest, were the names of a YouTube media channel associated with the parent of a district student. And in an attempt to provide records in a more timely and efficient manner, provided records directly to the personal email address of that parent, so that the name and any personally identifiable information of their student in the emails could be provided unredacted." So they just took it upon themselves to assume that whoever sent this email from the email address of newsnownorthwest@gmail.com wanted, even though the only contact information I gave them in my original email was this one. That's the only thing I gave them. I didn't give them a name. I didn't give them any other information. So they just decided to take it upon themselves to think, oh, well, he really just wants the emails of this kid because we think it's this kid's dad. And yeah, I mean, of course, they made the right assumption. But the point is, that's the assumption on who I was, not the assumption on what I wanted. That's my point, is it doesn't matter who I am. I asked for something very specific. All of the emails sent and received by those two people from their specific email accounts associated with the district. And so this is, as I said, they provided emails from something else, which I don't understand why they did that. Right? You're right about that, Jesse. He is another guy who sold his soul. So I want to read on just a little bit further here. Where he just more assumptions and things like that. And so keep in mind, I mean, this guy's making some pretty good money, so he needs to protect the predator class and what's going on. So I don't know, maybe there's nothing to protect. Maybe there's nothing in the emails that they didn't send me. But I did ask for them, and I'll be getting them on January 29th, is my understanding. So let me just read on. More specifically, the district responded to the requests on December 11th, 2020 by providing emails to the parent that fairly and directly are related to matters pertaining to the education of their student or matters related to their interactions with the district on October 30th, 2020. Again, the district provided those emails to the parent's personal email address directly so that the name and any personal identifiable information of their student in the emails could be provided unredacted. To date, the district has not received any response from the parent questioning the receipt of those records or otherwise clarifying that they did not make or are not affiliated with Questionable Authority. So they just keep making all these assumptions and trying to cover their you-know-whats, basically. Because they know they screwed up. You can't just send a response to someone because you think, there's a lot other places actually go through. They really try to get me to give them my name, and their excuse is always, well, we have to verify that it's actually the person who made the request, and so they want me to give them some sort of ID. And of course, I've never had to. Idaho is the only one, ironically, that wants me to give them a bunch of identification information to receive a public records request. So far, as far as all the ones I've done. Right? Jesse, you're absolutely right. People just need to stop paying their taxes. That'd be huge. All right, so I think that's about it. Yeah, it basically just says they attach the redacted version to this since it's not the parent's email. Which that's fine. I never asked for them unredacted. Basically, just kind of here's what it says. So in conducting their electronic search, the email archive for emails on October 30th, the district administrators identified in your request the addition of attached emails. Those searches also produced a number of communications discussing a wide range of administrative matters. Emails include communications with attorneys on various matters, construction-related communications, and communications discussing student and personnel matters, including emails discussing issues related to COVID-19, personal protective equipment, accommodations, and other issues likely exempt from disclosure by various exemptions under public records laws. So basically, he's just trying to say, oh, there's all kinds of stuff that's going to have redactions, and we didn't think you wanted that. Well, you don't not send. They don't just not send the whole email. They redact parts of the email out, and then they send me. Like I've had things where literally an entire page is redacted, but they still sent me that page. So makes me think they're trying to avoid something getting out into the public. Not necessarily that there's anything horrible. There's stuff in there they don't necessarily want getting out for the public to see. So it should be interesting at any rate. I just wanted to share that with you because this is how the district handles things. I mean, this is how much this guy gets paid. I mean, it's not like he's rich or anything. This isn't a ton of money, but I mean, he's living pretty comfortable, especially in this central banking system, fiat currency. You know, he's a good fiat slave, basically a fiat debt slave. That's what he is, and he's really good at it. They reward him well. You know, where I live, I can go out my front door and there's these houses up on this hill. It's big fancy houses, and that's what I call it. It's like those are the best collaborators. They've been rewarded well by the predator class. They get to live up there in these big fancy houses overlooking the rest of us. That's just my theory. Okay, so moving on, I have, let's see, a couple more things I want to share with you guys here. So, let me, I apologize. There you go, let me get that up. So this next thing here, let me get rid of old Jay Rowell, because we're done with him. Get rid of all his stuff. So the next thing we're going to pull up, this is Carrie Ames. You've met her on some of my other videos. She's the principal at my son's school, so she was part of the emails. But I wanted to play a little bit of a conversation with her. Now, this is regarding basically my son's IEP. What they decided to do, we had an IEP meeting, and my son's mother and I, we didn't come to an agreement with the district and the school on how to proceed with his IEP. So we actually said, oh, we're just going to shelve it. But we never agreed to anything. We simply were on a Zoom meeting on our computers, listening and interacting with them and trying to figure out how to do this and still socialize my son. So I just want to play a few clips from that. If you guys can't hear it, give me if you can hear it, give me a 1. If you cannot, give me a 2. And if you can't, I can't really play it much louder than it is. So if you can't hear it, I'll just turn it off. Let's see here. Give me 1 second to get it pulled up to the right stage. 4:30. All right. Let's see. So again, this is Carrie Ames. She is the principal at my son's school. And there, just so you see that for her, she is at... she's at 166,419. I'm sorry, when I was speaking earlier about Jay Rowell, I was speaking to the wrong person. That's Carrie Ames. Jay Rowell, Jay Rowell is at 190,000. So the deputy assistant superintendent, Jay Rowell, that handled that public record request so well. I mean, he's earning that money, earning that bribe money so well. He makes $190,000 a year, at least did in 2019. So there you go. $190,000 of stolen money that he takes to give us horrible service when we do a simple public records request with all of the emails from 2 accounts for 1 single day. Good job. Good job, man. That's money well spent. Good stuff. All right, back to the task at hand. Sorry about that little tangent there. All right, so I'm just going to play a little bit. I'm going to skip over parts because I don't necessarily want to play my son's mother on this, but I can pretty much tell you what she's asking. But let me just play this first part here. Like I said, if you cannot hear it, give me a 2, and I'll stop going through this and I'll just discuss it a little bit.
An input at the meeting, and yes, we don't have a signature, but we have noted the attendance, and so he does have.
All right, so right here, we basically said we were presented that this new individualized education plan has been put into place for our son, and we never agreed to anything. So that's what this meeting is about. And so she's basically just saying, well, yeah, you guys were present. Here, I'll start. You guys were present, and that's basically your agreement to it. I mean, you know, we're not saying you agreed to anything necessarily, but you were present, and so that's why we can go ahead with this new IEP, because you guys were at the meeting. Even though we weren't at any meeting, I was sitting in the same spot I'm sitting in right now, literally. I wasn't at any meeting. Anyway, let me play it.
Participating in input at the meeting, and yes, we don't have a signature, but we have noted the attendance. And so he does have a current IEP, the one that Alana sent to you. And so if I hear you right, Andrea, what you're saying is as this COVID thing continues to unfold, you're wanting to revisit that IEP. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Not just revisit the IEP. Right? I totally agree, Jesse. If we weren't there, then if I wasn't there physically, I wasn't at the meeting. So I never signed off on anything saying I was there, anything like that. I was literally sitting at my home in front of a computer. So anyways, let me move on. I'm glad you guys can hear that. Let me move on to the next little piece here. All right, so here she is again, Miss Principal Carrie Ames at Central Valley High School.
We're not saying that you agree or disagree with it. And if we need to come back to the table and look at it again, we absolutely can do that. And specifically, if there's like parts that, you know, you want to relook at, if we could have that specific information, we can come back as a team, correct, and amend the IEP. Is that accurate, Tricia?
Yes. Yes, that's accurate.
Would you like for that to happen?
So, well, I mean, if you don't agree to this one that we just put in without you agreeing to, then you can call for another one, which that one will apparently be more meaningful somehow. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. We just made this one up without you agreeing to it, so we'll just magically create another meeting, and then whether you agree to that one or not, we'll just do what we want, because that's what we do. We get paid, in this case, $166,000 a year, fiat dollars a year. She's a debt slave, and so she likes chasing that fiat currency. So she's going to keep doing that rather than serve the people whose money is taken from them against the will and the service she's supposed to be providing. Again, I mean, I don't know if she's not providing anything, but that's my point. She's supposed to be providing a service of educating our children and ensuring my son has an equal opportunity to an education, and she's not doing that at all. She's just following orders from the predator class and separating my son and all the special needs kids like him to the side. So I just, yes, I'm not very happy with this woman, clearly. Okay. So let me just play this next little clip here. Moving on. 33.
Is there something specific in the IEP that you want addressed or changed? I mean, maybe we start there.
Okay. Well, the issue is the integration.
Okay.
So we just.
So yeah, just I'm not gonna play that. That's my ex. But she's talking about the issue is the integration. There's a complete lack of integration. The district is treating it like, well, because the integration is Kellen, my son, sitting in front of a computer screen, with his other peers. They're doing the same thing somewhere else, not next to him. That's not integration. That's like sitting in front of the TV. That's not him sitting with his peers and learning from them and things like that. Right? You're absolutely right, Jesse. Jesse, for those that are watching this the next morning, not on D Live, that are watching on one of the other platforms, he just said, as long as they keep stealing our money via taxation, they have no incentive to work for us. And he's absolutely right, because they're working for the people who pay them, which is the predator class. The predator class takes it from us against our will. We get to vote on a levy. So mob rule, if more than 50%, and all they have to do is convince us. And what they do here, I don't know if they do in other areas, but it really upsets me because my son is affected. He's not affected. Well, he is now, obviously, but they say, if you don't vote for this new levy, the special needs kids aren't going to get their funding. BS. That's BS. So stop voting. Stop letting them tug on your emotions like that in order to pass these levies. It's BS. Make them work with what they have. That's ridiculous. It's up to each individual parent to make sure their kid gets what they need, what they want out of their education system. If you want to participate in these systems, don't just keep voting up levies and taking other people's money against their will. You know, most of these levies don't pass by huge numbers, so there's a lot of people out there disagreeing, and that means their money, their resources are being taken from them against their will, and they could use those to invest in their community in other ways. But I guess we just have to do it this way because a few more than half of the people said, we must do it this way. And that's how it's done. That's democracy, mob rule, good stuff. Right, Jesse? Yeah, democracy is mob rule. Okay, let me move on to the next piece here. Just a couple of these I just want to get through. I'm glad you guys can hear it okay. It's just interesting to see what they say, you know, the words that they use. And they're just defending the predator class the whole time. That's all they're doing. Hey, Republic. Yeah, right.
Schedule, but we've broken that down into quarters given the pandemic. So students take for quarter 1, 3 classes, quarter 2, 3 classes.
So right now she's trying to explain like we're idiots, like this is what they do. They treat us all like children. My friend Simon in my voluntarist group. Oh, I forgot to hang the flag back there. I'll put it up. Republic made our voluntarist group some flags, some voluntarist flags for when we go around to different events and when we do different things. We can take that with us so people can identify who we are. People can ask questions. Oh, what's that mean? Anyways, a little side tangent there. I was just trying to explain like we're a bunch of children. That's what Simon says the government does is it treats us all like children, and we act like children because that's the rules it sets up. It's just like this. Oh, I have to explain everything like you're a couple of dopes that don't understand anything. So that's basically what she's doing here, trying to make it sound like we haven't given it any critical thinking into the fact that our son isn't getting any integration. Oh, really? So there's an alleged pandemic, and that's why we have to just take everything away from everybody. I mean, yes, of course we know that. We aren't just in a little box or a bubble where we don't know what's going on around us. All right. Let's see where I'm supposed to be at here. Oh, yeah, let me get this.
Classes, and the semester ends in January, and then they'll take another 3, quarter 3,
right,
and
Jesse.
another 3, quarter 4. So in his second quarter right now, and on his schedule, his daily schedule, he is enrolled in 3 special ed classes. Looking down the road at second semester, and with the hope that we could have in-person learning for our gen ed classes, that would be what we would want to, you know, hopefully, I think we all want the same thing. We want our kids back. But then his participation in those gen ed classes might look differently if we're not in this COVID reality where our gen ed kids are not on campus. Does that make sense, Andrea and Corey?
Well,
Yeah, it does. And I
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, of course it makes sense. We're not idiots, but it doesn't mean it's right for our kids. Like, I hate the way they explain things. That's just, I wanted to play that clip just so you guys have a little understanding of this is what we deal with on every level of government, not just in school, but, you know, this is something that's important. So I'm not going to play anymore just so I can move along, at least of that. So what I want to move on to next, let me get it pulled up here on my other notes. Sorry about that. So Lainey Liberty, she's an advocate for partnership parenting and the World School Project. She's as far as my understanding, in my research, she's a voluntarist. She's a speaker regarding schooling for the Greater Reset. So you can see her there, which I'm going to be having watch parties in my house for that. So anybody in the Spokane area, I'll be posting that on freedomcells.org. You can see on the calendar information about having a watch party in my house for the Greater Reset every day that it's going on. But she's going to be one of the speakers, and specifically for the education aspect of it. So I wanted to kind of feature her for this because, you know, once we once we stop complying, we don't get vaccines and all that, and our kids aren't allowed to go to school, we have to educate our kids, and we'll actually get a chance to actually educate them. And so far, what I've seen is, in my research, is obviously what we know, just like in every other aspect of our lives, we have to be involved. It's up to us, the parents, to make sure our children are educated, not a school, not some administrator, not a principal, not anyone else. It's up to us. So that's why I wanted to share that. Let me get Carrie Ames' information off of here now. Did I get that? Oh, Jay Rowles is still up there. Oh, here, I didn't even change it to Carrie Ames. I apologize. There's hers up there. 166,000 she makes a year. The woman you just heard speaking that gave that a wonderful explanation of why, because everyone's scared of a virus that the Charlie Delta Charlie Corporation has not even been able to isolate according to their own documents yet. And page 39 of that document. I'll throw that in the description later. I don't have that handy with me, but I'll throw that in the upload to the other platforms if you want to verify that for yourself. It's on page 39, the last paragraph of that document that I'm going to post. So anyways, yeah, she's the one that's enforcing this for the predator class, and that's why she's rewarded well for it. She's rewarded pretty well. She has a comfortable life with that. I'm sure she has some sort of a partner that she probably makes some as well, and so adds to that and makes it even more comfortable. So that's very, very good. That's nice for her. Anyways, there we go. So back to this. Let me get this here out of the way so you guys can see what I'm talking about now. All right, so this is Lainey Liberty, and she's got a guest here. They're just talking about, so Lainey Liberty, this first clip I'm going to start with. Well, I'll just play it, actually. I guess I have it where she's going to ask the question here. Time was that? Sorry guys, I appreciate you sticking with me. The technical difficulties with my wire and the webcam making me late had me a little discombobulated at the beginning of the show. But I'm back, and I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, Jesse and Republic, and it looks like there's a few more there. Feel free to comment, everybody else that's checking out the show. I want you to interact with me. Let me know what your thoughts are on how education would proceed if you're not going to comply and you're going to have to work outside of the public education system. Both in, are you going to resist paying your property taxes so you don't support it? And also, how are you going to educate your kids if you have kids or in that area? Nice. Yeah, Jesse, I agree. I try to keep it on my phone, and I do have it on my phone, and I'll just share it with people when I'm talking to them. Oh, here, let me just forward you this document. You tell them exactly where it is, then go look it up. And of course, most of them just, oh, no, I don't understand what you're talking about. All right, so let me play this. Lainey Liberty is going to ask her a question, and then she's answering in both Dutch, this woman where she's from, and then in English. So I'll fast forward through the Dutch and just get to the English, just for time purposes. Oh, sorry, my mouse is going crazy.
Appreciate that. Can you talk a little bit about perhaps giving advice to parents as to what's age appropriate to discuss with their children about the pandemic, about the virus, about the quarantines?
Ja, wat ik meestal ouders adviseer.
All right, here we go.
Te zwakken. So I usually advise parents to just be honest and tell them what they know. Of course, you make an how do you say that, an adjustment to the age, and you say you think they understand, but be open, honest, frank, and also if things scare you, if you're a little bit scared yourself, I advise parents to be open about it, because kids, they feel it. If you say, oh, I'm scared, and you are scared, they feel it, and it's safe. The safest thing for them is to know that you are open and honest about your feelings.
All right. So I wanted to play that because, this is the idea of how we should be educating our children. When we watch the mainstream media news, anytime there's some kind of major thing like this pandemic or the COVIDs comes around, or 9/11, any of these major, school shooting, they always, oh, how are we're gonna have this psychologist on, which is really just some kind of paid celebrity, honestly, if we're really paying attention. And they're going to tell us how we need to handle this with our children and how to keep them safe from all the dangers of knowing what's happening in the real world. So I love this woman's approach. She's a mental health professional, and she just says you need to be open and honest with them. And obviously you should be able to determine what's age appropriate for your children as far as what they're going to be able to comprehend regarding each individual situation. Common sense, right? We shouldn't be using that, though. That's ridiculous to try to use common sense, right? Okay. So that's really it from her. There's a couple other videos I could put up from Lady Liberty. But they... let me back up. I'll play one other one here. This is a pretty good one. Just kind of explains, it's kind of an introduction into what partnership parenting is. So let me get that pulled up here. Okay, here we go.
What is the partnership parenting movement?
This is a movement of parents committed to creating peace.
I just wanted to show that. It's just kind of an introduction. This is all new to me. I haven't really ever. I've always known that the public education system is not all that good. Doesn't focus on the right things, and especially now. I think it was a little bit different. No, I was still in the Indoctrination Center even when I was in school. It doesn't matter. I just would like to think that, I guess, because it was me. I don't want to feel like I was duped, but I was. Anyhow, it's just an introduction into something alternative. Part of it is homeschooling. Everything that they're talking about here, it's a way to do things differently. And I think that's really important as we move forward without, complying with the rules. We're going to have to learn how to do that. And this partnership parenting, it sounds like, first of all, it's just about being open and honest and caring and compassionate with your kids and all kids, really. And I think working as a community, and when I say community, not like a regional community, but as far as education, especially as long as we have the ability to communicate across long distances, a community can be that. Just some people that you relate to and can help you with educating your children, whether it be them talking to you about how you can relate to your kids and really connect with them when you're trying to educate them about a certain subject, or let them discover, I should say, is a better word. I don't think we really educate people. I think it's better for people to educate themselves. And so we just want to kind of guide our kids and let them discover things. And that's why I always question everything as part of the, questionable authority, but question everything. You really should. Question me, question things you see out in nature. Just, it helps you figure things out when you just question everything. So that's kind of the idea behind this partnership parent thing, is finding a community of parents and a support group that can help you with in educating your kid, however that may be. I think, at least that's from my little brief exploration. I went down a lot of different avenues of this alternative education aspect of the alternative economy. So, and this is important. The reason that I'm bringing this into the alternate economy show is because it's, in my opinion anyways, education is the base of our economy. If depending on how our kids are educated, if our kids are educated in a different way, that our value is in our labor. We're taxed on our labor. That's not profit. That's something we trade for fiat currency in our current system anyways. So what if we had a system where our labor was the value, or our production, which is our labor, is the value, like my individual production. So what I can provide for my community, that's what my value to my community is. So, whether I trade that for some sort of commodity like cryptocurrency, like a Bitcoin. Speaking of which, that reminds me, we did have a winner of the cryptocurrency, the Ethereum contest. I don't have his email in front of me yet at the moment, but next week I'm actually going to send him the reward on next Wednesday. So I'm going to contact him, let him know we won. I am having an issue. I had my old phone crapped out on me, and I had a certain authentication system that was on there, and I had to reset that, so it's taken a little bit to get that reset, but I'm getting that taken care of. And once I do that, then I'm going to go ahead and send him the $20 worth of Ethereum he got just for sending us his Ethereum address, getting a wallet and sending us his address. So I'm going to send him that as soon as I get that verified. But I'm going to if I don't do that live on next Wednesday's show, I'm going to record it when I do it so that I can show it on next Wednesday's show. Just one more example of how you perform a transaction with cryptocurrency. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. If whether I trade my value, my labor, or my production to the community as fiat currency or cryptocurrency or cows or milk or cheese or butter or rice or fixing my car, whatever that is, the point is that's my value to my community, is what I can produce for it, my production, my labor. The IRS says that I'm going to come tax that. Well, they say they're going to tax income. Well, your income would be anything above and beyond your labor. Which I don't really know how you can do that. So you can't give, like, if I bought a TV for $50 and then I sold it to someone else for $75, they could tax me for the $25. That's income. I made an income of $25, but they can't tax me for my labor. That's not income. That's something I traded for another commodity, for something else, which happens to be fiat currency, which that's the problem, is we're trading it for a debt note. So that's what gets us in trouble. Anyways, if anyone, I did throw the number up there, if anybody that's watching does want to call in, go ahead and call in. We can discuss things. I do appreciate everyone that joined me here. It was nice to have you guys. I think everything went pretty good. I finally got all the audio good. I've been having a few issues with keeping the mic muted at the beginning of the show, so I'm glad that didn't happen today, and I appreciate you guys joining me. Thanks for the support. Matter of fact, I'm going to throw something up here. Let's see. So when you guys interact, I'm kind of new to DLive, so there's this chest here that people that accumulates lemons as people interact. So let's see here. We got 3 viewers here. I think you guys deserve something here. Okay, so there's some rewards. I got 20.3 lemons in there. So it says in 23 seconds the rewards from there are going to be distributed. So I want to thank you guys for supporting me on DLive. The channel's growing every day. I appreciate that. Although I understand there are censorship issues here. So while I'm at it, I also just want to check out float.app. If you're going to do any kind of social media and you're worried about censorship, you really should be looking into... There you go. All right, Jesse. There you go, man. You got some lemons. Thanks for all the support, buddy. I appreciate that. That's cool. All right. So this is float.app that I pulled up on the screen here. This is a blockchain-based social media. It's kind of a replacement for Facebook. That's what's on here. So I would check it out. It's another one of these ones you can earn cryptocurrency for. It's worth checking out. And it has a live feature, so I really like that. And I'm probably, especially if I'm out, like if I'm cop watching anymore, I'm going to go live from float.app. So go to float.app and follow me there. Here, I'll get I'll throw my link here up in the chat real quick. Nice, Jesse. All right, well, there's my link there for Float. Follow me there, man. I'll check you out, too. Here. No problem, Jesse. No problem. Thanks for asking. Let's see. So, Spiffies, there was they dropped the injunction. I really don't have one on Spiffies. They dropped the injunction or something I heard today, but I didn't even get a chance to follow that article. The Black Diamond, they had to kind of shut down all operations. They got threatened with having their liquor license removed, and then if that happened, they basically said they were going to throw anybody, the servers, the owners, anybody who got caught serving drinks without a license in the slammer. So there is a remedy for that coming up here shortly, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be opening up my restaurant, getting closer to that more and more. The balls are rolling on that more and more every day. One thing we did decide, though, is, so right in Washington State, they just gave you can open up to 25% capacity. So there's a little bit of an update, Jesse, is restaurants can open up. I don't know if it's bars. It might just be restaurants. But they can open up to 25% of their indoor capacity now in the state of Washington. So that helps out with Spiffies and Farm Boy. And the Black Diamond, if they don't serve liquor, that could help them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But go in and check them out. Maybe the Black Diamond is allowing people to go inside. I might have heard a report that after their outside dining area blew away, someone had visited there, and they sat inside and ate. I might have heard that. I don't know. Go support them either way. They're trying to fight this, and while you're there, tell them that if they open up, you'll support them even more. If they open up completely like they should be. So yeah, that's the update there. I guess they're able to open up at least a little bit now. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, so as far as me opening up my restaurant and trying to show places like the Black Diamond, especially that have a liquor license, or some other places, how to open up and stay open and keep the fuzz off our back, I agree, Jesse. Really? Nice. That's good to hear. There's one in Kennewick that, to my understanding, has stood up as well and has kind of given them the finger and said, no, we're not going to comply. So I like to see that. I think it's called the Bartini or something like that in Kennewick, Washington. And they actually had a mock Boston Tea Party. Some of the supporters of the bar did. They showed up the liquor and cannabis board and poured it out on they made took some Jack Daniels bottles and filled them with iced tea, tea, and poured that out in the parking lot of the liquor and cannabis board there in Tri-Cities, Washington. So I think, to my knowledge, I don't think they've removed their liquor license. But I want to show people how to operate without a liquor license. You don't need one if you're a private establishment. Where are you at, Jesse? What area are you in? Hey, thanks for the lemon there. The lemons, Boogaloo PDX. I appreciate that. I appreciate the 2 lemons. And I appreciate you guys joining me. Also, like I said, so not only float.app, make sure you're getting off YouTube. I appreciate you guys following me here on DLive. Go check me out on 3Speak Library, which is also, I guess it's Odyssey is kind of what it's being referred to now. It's the video platform of Library. I really like that. It's a really cool platform. DTube is another one. It's associated with Steemit and Hive. 3Speak is associated with Hive. And Minds.com. I really like Minds.com, and I understand they're under attack. And check me out on BitChute as well. I'm growing on all those platforms every day because of all you guys support. I really appreciate that. Boogaloo PDX. Thanks for the additional lemon there, man. I appreciate that. Guess I don't know that you're a man. That's my bad. That's just the way I talk, I guess. All right. So if anyone else has anything to share regarding education, I think so. Here's my closing thoughts on education as we move forward with an alternate economy. And like I said, I hope you guys check out the Greater Reset. Let me just go to the website and we'll see what day they're talking about education, because it's on there. And maybe if you guys want, maybe I'll restream some of the Greater Reset. Whoops, it's .org. My bad. It's the Greater. That's right. There we go. So we got it pulled up here. So yes, 25th through the 29th, and homeschooling. So on the 26th, the second day, they're going to talk about health and decentralized healthcare and homeschooling and unschooling. So that's another term. I didn't even get a chance to look into that. I just wanted to start talking about this today because I think it's really important. You're over in Vancouver, Boogaloo PDX. All right, nice to hear. If you guys are if you aren't part of the People's Rights, Kelly Stewart, she kind of runs the People's Rights group over there. She runs it for all of Washington. She's really awesome. I suggest you get in contact with the People's Rights over there. Nice. Also, if you're not part of the Freedom Cells, Nice. Good to hear, Boogaloo. If you're not a part of the Freedom Cells, join into that too. I really like the Freedom Cells, more focused on this, the greater reset, and moving forward and not asking permission and dealing with government anymore. They're a bunch of criminals. Why would we want to deal with them? So anyways, yeah, join me if in your area you don't see any going on. Put that on the calendar of the Freedom Cells, or just put it out on all your other social media. Have watch parties at your house for the greater reset. We got to make this huge. Everybody needs to start understanding we don't have to comply with the central banking cartels' new normal that they want us to live in. Oh. There's that a little bit better. All right, well, I have been up for 52 minutes. I don't want to stay up all night tonight. I got to go hang out with my kids a little bit, too, before they go to bed tonight and get them ready for their indoctrination center tomorrow. Here's a little update, speaking of education. So my daughter's school on the 25th, I don't know if anyone's going to join me. I'm going to try to get a little protest organized. I don't like protests, but I'm just tired of these people taking our money and doing what they want. So I'm going to show... No problem, Jesse. Boogaloo PDX, thanks for the extra lemons. And Jesse, thank you as well. I appreciate that. 4 lemons from Boogaloo, and another one from Jesse. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the support. So on the 25th, there's a school board meeting here in Spokane Valley for my son's school district. So I'm not sure. I can't tell yet if they're going to be there in person in the building. It says the location of it, so I assume they are. But if they're not, I'm going to show up, but we'll see. Maybe I'll track down 1 or 2 of their houses, and we'll try to get a couple different groups there. But I got a megaphone. They're not going to let us in the building, but hopefully they'll be able to hear me. Boogaloo, thanks. Appreciate the diamond. That's awesome. So yeah, that's on the 25th here in Spokane. Here, let me just pull it up. Why not? Just put it on the website there, so right there everyone can see. cvsd.org. All right, right here. Yep, January 25th. School board of directors meeting, 6:30 p.m. 19307 East Cataldo Avenue in Spokane. So yeah, if you're in the Spokane Valley, if you're in the Spokane Valley area, Spokane, come check it out. Help me out, and let's have our voices heard that we're tired of them just taking our money and doing what they want, not providing any service at all, not providing education, not even providing the socialization currently, at least here in Spokane, that we want. Our kids should be getting socialized at the very least. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to shut it down for the night. I do appreciate all your support. Boogaloo PDX, thank you for the diamond, and I'm glad that you're in the People's Rights Group. You've got a great leader down in that area. Kelly Stewart is amazing. I appreciate all the work she does and all the leadership she's provided for the state of Washington and people that want to start standing up and have been standing up. Jesse, thank you for the support. Republic, thank you for joining. I appreciate all you guys. Have an excellent rest of your evening. Peace out, and don't forget to always live free.